Clay Hess is a master flat picker and rhythm guitar player. He's played with Ricky Skaggs, Sierra Hull, Ron Block, Randy Coors, and several others. I mean, you can totally add to that list if you want to. But now you run a successful studio in Ohio, and you lead the Clay Hess Band. Clay is going to be joining us for the first ever Tunefox camp, May 15th through 19th in Montreat, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes outside of Asheville. And why are we asking Clay to join us? Well, Clay is personally one of my favorite bluegrass guitar players because of his musicality and his fluidity. I just feel like it's second to none on guitar. And you're an amazing banjo player too, that many people don't know about, but you're one of my favorite guitar players. So I really appreciate you joining us for camp. And we talked on the phone a couple weeks ago, and you mentioned that you grew up kind of learning by ear, and you're mostly self-taught. And I think that's really valuable to bring to people at camp, that they too can actually learn by ear and teach themselves. So that's a big plus for me in inviting you to camp.
Yeah, the trick is learning the difference between listening and hearing. You know, just because you hear something doesn't mean that you listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to, you know, music is a many-layered thing. And when you listen to a CD, train yourself to pick out one instrument and just listen to that instrument throughout the whole song. And just keep working at that. And it just makes learning so much easier. Learning nuance.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Learning the nuances, exactly. That's what I did a blog post a long time ago called Active Listening. And that's kind of the same thing as what you're talking about. It's like really actively listening to one instrument, one layer of that recording. Right. And pinpointing it through the entire song, which is not the easiest thing to do when you're starting out. It takes a lot of focus.
But if you're learning from solely tablature or solely like the Amazing Slowdowner and stuff like that, you're not learning nuance. You're learning the notes to play, but you're not learning the feel of those notes, how they're supposed to feel together within the song.
Yeah, totally. So, cool. Well, can you play something for us?
What do you want me to play?
All right.
How about Beaumont Rag or something?
Yeah, sure. That's great, man. I love your playing.
Thanks.
It's so fun to listen to you. Yeah, totally. Cool. So I have just one question for you. And we have daily themes at camp. So something we're going to be doing is each main day of teaching. We're going to have 3 main days of teaching, full days. And each of those days is going to have a theme. So the first day's theme is groove and backup. The second day is melody. And the third day is improvisation and creativity. Okay. And so obviously rhythm is a huge part of playing guitar. You're doing that like the majority of the time. Do you have any tips for people to make your rhythm like less clunky, if you will?
This
or maybe that's not the right word, but
this
like
right here, never do that. Okay. Rhythm should be start here, and then add a little, and then. And then when you get more involved, that last one was a little busy, but it's good for your timing to practice it, even though you won't really use it, not for more than a bar or two. But then you get into the Tony Rice intricate where you're substituting individual notes for this. You're going. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross-picking thing almost.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
The way Tony did it was downstrokes and then up on the last one.
Oh, wow.
And I play it because
so you do that.
It's just easier for me to stay in meter that way. But
so you always have that alternating bass. You always have. Sounds like. Yeah.
I hear people play going
on the down.
Yeah, it's constantly on the the one note instead of playing the 1 and the 5 like the bass. I try to match the bass with whatever I'm doing, or either match it or play alternating. Like on a walk where the bass might be going. If I play, then you have this. You have the A and the C at the same time, which is the relative minor, and then you have the E and the G. So and then you both land on the D at the same time. So
that's really nice.
Yeah, it just creates this big wide sound with only each instrument's only playing one note at a time. But But using the relative minor over the major creates this wide sounding note that I don't know, it just works really well, especially over a vocal.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. That's really cool. So I'm gonna start using that actually. That's awesome. Yeah, well, I don't want to keep any more of your time. I know you're working, but I really appreciate you joining me for this short chat, and we are super pumped to have you.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a cool mixture of like traditional and progressive there. As you know, Mike Compton's going to be there, and Joe Walsh on mandolin, and then Grant Gordy's going to be the other guitar teacher, and then we got Danny Barnes and Wes Corbett on banjo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be a cool mixture of people, and the class sizes are going to be relatively small. So we're going to have 20 students for each instrument. That means there's going to be 2 classes of 10 for each instrument.
Okay.
So we're going to keep it really small.
Right.
So there's some one-on-one interaction.
Yeah. Smaller is better.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate it. And if anybody's interested in checking out the camp, you can go to tunefox.com/camp. And that's it. You can message me if you have any questions.
And message me if you have any questions, and I'll message Bennett and give you the answer.
That works too. All right.
See you.
See ya.
Bye.